Xavier Kirk was 14, another boy 13, the night they tried to steal a car. An officer in the Space Force gave chase. In all, he fired 11 bullets.
That night, my friend and I made a mistake. We took a car that didn't belong to us. I'm not proud of that. And no matter what we did that night, I didn't deserve to be shot, and Xavier did not deserve to die.
I am sorry.
I do not feel sorry for the teenagers who got killed in this situation. Why, Brandon? Because you had no business stealing somebody's car. All right, y'all, this is why I just absolutely love Ground Out News, and I say it all the time. I wish I'd have thought of this idea first because it's absolutely brilliant, and you can't find it anywhere. The news is always biased, but how do you know which news outlets are preaching what or which ones are leaning left or right? But that's why Ground Out News show you exactly. When you look at the articles that are here, you can see majority of the articles that are written are blue because these are left-leaning. 67% is left-leaning. You can see that with any topic, any article that you look up. But also, if you're a person who only consumes conservative information, you probably want to know your blind spots. So on the blind spot part, it tells you 20 articles are written by Republicans that should be noted that are blind spots to Republicans, and others are written by people on the left that should be noted that are blind spots to the left. And so you go down here, and this is one of the blind spots that the right is not talking about. It says Supreme Court lets Trump administration cut $783 million of research funding in anti-DEI push. Now, should conservatives care? No, we want them to cut DEI pushes. But we should know that this is being reported. And over here, the left, not one outlet is reporting this. Biden spokesman Ian Sams only met former president twice. That's crazy. They don't want you to know it. So you need to be on top of knowing what your blind spots are. So make sure you guys subscribe through my link at ground.news/Tatum or download the mobile app and use offer code Tatum for 40% off the unlimited Vantage plan to see through media bias and stay informed. Use of force by ex-Space Force Sergeant sentenced in fatal shooting. He got 54 years in prison for what he did. Now let me say this, because y'all know I'm a law and order guy. The law is the law. So he got to do the time because he did the crime. However, I do not feel sorry for the teenagers who got killed in this situation. Why, Brandon? Because you had no business stealing somebody's car. Two wrongs can be wrong at the same time. You can't shoot people while they're fleeing and while they're running. You can't just let your emotions get the best of you. I know it ticks you off when somebody steals something you work hard for. But as a criminal, you can't act like your life is going to be secured because you committing a crime and nobody can shoot at you. You get a person who had enough of it, you're going to be dead. And 54 years in prison, plus he probably get out for good behavior at some point, ain't worth your life, is it? All right, now listen to the news report on this topic. And this was absolutely crazy. Roll the clip.
We're going to continue now with our other news coverage of the day, including some breaking news. A man who shot two teens who had tried to steal his car, killing one of them, learned that he will spend the next 54 years in prison. Thanks for joining us tonight, by the way. I am Jennifer Meckles.
And I'm Sam Shocker. Earlier this summer, a jury convicted Oris Schur of second-degree murder and attempted second-degree murder. He chased and shot at the unarmed boys as they drove away and kept firing after they jumped out of a vehicle and ran.
Kevin Vaughn from our 9 News Investigates team was in court today. He joins us now from Brighton. This sentence, Kevin, is right about in the middle of what could have happened today, right?
Jenny and Sam, that's exactly right. The judge had to sentence Oris Schur to at least 26 years in prison. She could have sentenced him to as much as 80. In the end, she settled on 54 years, and the upshot of that means that the earliest he could be eligible for parole is when he's about 70 years old. Xavier Kirk was 14, another boy 13, the night they tried to steal a car. Schur, a decorated Army veteran and an officer in the Space Force, gave chase. In all, he fired 11 bullets. Kirk died at the scene. The other boy suffered serious injuries. Before passing the sentence, Judge Karen Datz heard from Xavier Kirk's family and friends and from the man who killed him.
I just can't believe we're here under the circumstance. What Mr. Schur did to my son and his friend, to chase them down and execute them over a car that they didn't even take, is ludicrous. is ludicrous.
This is my first time that I have addressed the court directly, and I want my first words to be, I am sorry. For the events that occurred that night, for the pain, for the grief and trauma that have followed, and for the impact that my case had on so many lives.
A prosecutor also read a letter to the judge from that other boy that was wounded, shot in the back, and survived. He apologized for what he and Kirk were doing that night, trying to steal cars, but he also said that he didn't believe that they deserved to have been essentially hunted down and shot. The court this afternoon was very powerful and emotional in that courtroom. A lot of tears from both members of the family and friends of Xavier Kirk and from family and friends of Orest Scher. Reporting live in Adams County, Kevin Vaughn, 9 News.
Sentencing days are always difficult days. Kevin, thank you so much for following this case.
I'm gonna tell y'all, man, I have sons. I love my boys. If my son decides to steal somebody's car and the guy hunts him down and kills him, I'm gonna be mad, right? I'm gonna want to take action against him, but I can't get mad that it happened. You had no business. For instance, you have no business stealing somebody's car and expecting them to say, well, I don't deserve to get shot. Well, he thinks you deserve to get shot. You don't deserve to steal. The dad go, and they didn't even take the car. Well, they didn't take the car because they were getting shot at, so they jumped out and tried to flee. Well, I don't get it. I'll never get it. Hey, you can't do that, so you went to jail, but you can't do that, so that's why one of y'all done got killed and the other one got shot in the back. The lesson of the story is, if you're carrying a firearm, you need protection. You need this is my thing. If you're carrying a firearm somewhere, you need legal representation ready to defend you, right, wrong, or indifferent. What you don't want to do is have legal representation that will drop you if you end up making a mistake like this guy did. I don't think he understood the law very well. He probably thought he was justified in shooting them or shooting at them or whatever the case may be because they stole his vehicle. That's not the law. So if you are going to have a gun, and I'm telling you right now, and we have a sponsor that sponsors our show, and I have a membership with them, and don't go with these other companies. That's why the sponsorship that we have is the company that you should go with. Don't go with these other companies. I'll let you know in the description section. We'll put the link there. But you don't want to go with other companies because they will support you until you do something that is not, you know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't all together. And then they'll drop you and they won't defend you whatsoever. That's why you need a company that will defend you right or wrong. And I'm not saying that the intent is right or wrong, but at the end of the day, at least you won't do 54 years in prison if you had an adequate defense. And sometimes people make mistakes. They don't understand the law fully and they have a firearm. And so don't worry with these other companies. Get secured with a company that will defend you no matter what happens as a law firm if you're carrying a gun. Because you never know when you get yourself in a situation where you may have to shoot somebody or you may get it wrong. And if you get it wrong, don't mean you shouldn't be defended. The problem is that you go and pay for a defense and they don't even defend you properly. You get 54 years in prison. But anyway, moral of the story, young people, don't do this. The thing that got him put over the edge because he shot 11 times while they were fleeing on foot. He ran them down, chased them down, shot them. And you won't find me having too much sympathy for people that are doing this stuff.